5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. We're going to start off with a little fun, as always. Barbour, and I love the way they fit their guarantee into this Santa video, but it's their commercial. It's a little bit long. We may try to compress it a bit, but let's give it a ride and see how it goes.
Dear Father Christmas, I want a new bike. And this one, a new games console. And this. Hey, hello? This is different. Dear Father Christmas.
Please help me. Our Poppy's chewed my dad's most favourite jacket, and he's really upset. It's like he treasures it. It was his dad's before him, and that makes it a heirloom, whatever that is. Instead of a present for me, please can you mend my dad's jacket?
Crumbs.
Well, he doesn't know how to mend the jacket.
No.
Go ahead.
Oh, just blooming old Father Christmas, that's me.
But he wants
What's
to help
to
the
do,
kid.
dog?
He wants to help.
What's to do? Aha! I know just the people.
He's going to go down to the store. Lots of sewing machines.
Oh, dogs. Don't you just love them?
Oh, but can you mend it?
Of course we can. This won't be the first heirloom jacket we've repaired.
We'll give it a re-wax too. All part of the service.
Bloomin' marvellous. Oh.
And then the dad
In
gets
his
the jacket.
His best Christmas present ever.
I mean, how did you manage to fix it? It looks like new.
Except it's old, Dad.
Old Faithful, more like. And it'll be yours to look after one day, son.
With a bit of help from my friends.
All right. So anyway, the dog, sorry, sends a note to Santa. Anyway, so apparently, Barbour, apparently there actually was this story. Now I see that. I'm sorry, Christmas 2012. There's a picture of the little dog and the jacket, torn jacket. And so someone actually had a puppy that destroyed this Barbour jacket. And apparently it's like a wool with a wax finish on it, so it's waterproof and it's darn near indestructible, but the puppy ate it. And you can send these back to Barbour and get them fixed. It sounds a lot like an LL Bean story, and so I really liked it. And what a great story for Christmas. So anyway, let's go over to the PDFs. We got a couple of stories for you over here. And I got to find the PDF. Okay, I'm in the middle of looking that one over. Okay, R.R. Donnelly. I got a like from someone at R.R. Donnelly yesterday, so that was great. R.R. Donnelly has announced a vaccination distribution toolkit. And this was from a German publication, Finanzen.net GmbH. And they're promoting it to healthcare providers, government agencies, retail pharmacies, and large enterprise organizations. It may be a global promotion. But anyway, they're saying that 80% of physicians are saying that people have concerns about the safety. I saw, maybe fake news, but I saw a thing about how, only a couple of people got their faces paralyzed. I don't know. Not that you use your face much. Anyway, I have no idea verifying that. It just ran across it this morning. So there's a lot of news out there that makes people concerned. I think it's right, always right to be concerned. But their vaccination distribution toolkit provides turnkey support in 3 key areas: vaccine awareness, a direct mail campaign, and this is, of course, why I liked it, direct mail campaigns, also digital communications, employee training materials, content, and creative translations. So it looks like it is available for multiple languages. There's also clinician and retailer operational needs, signage and wayfinding, prep kits, temperature labels, etc., and also care kits, proof of vaccination, second dose reminders. So I think that it's interesting, though, that it's distributed through direct mail, and it is high value, I think, for customers. So, again, mail is at the forefront when you really want to get people's attention. Postcardmania announced an amazing enhancement to their regular services. They're going to integrate YouTube and Gmail ads to their existing digital offerings. What that means is that a small business can create a postcard campaign and also create a digital ad that may land, making the consumer more aware of that mail promotion. I know there are other vendors that do this at scale, but I think that Postcardmania is the first one to let smaller runs incorporate this. Very, very powerful tool, because you can either think of it as adding digital to mail, which is what Postcardmania is doing, or you can think of it as adding mail to digital if you're already doing Google Ads or in the Google Ad Network. And not everybody knows, I think especially small business doesn't realize that that you can take addresses and you can upload those to Google Ad Network and Facebook, and you can notify your customers by digital ad, often to their smartphone, with a timing cue. But the street address can connect to digital. So again, as I was saying yesterday, and we'll keep saying, the street address and the mail can drive digital in a way that the opposite is not true. You know, just because you have an email address doesn't mean you have a physical address. And I've tried to append them backwards that way, and it doesn't work very well at all. I can tell you, it's very difficult to go from digital to mail. This will let you do that, but or it may. But I would also recommend connecting and collecting your regular street addresses from your customers. This was a really interesting one. This could be really disruptive. Stripe, which we use to take our payments on ISSM and WDMA, is basically partnering with banks to let small merchants offer financial services to their customers. It's not just about taking payments. Stripe noticed, and I've noticed that too. I went to set up an account for WDMA, and first thing they said was, well, you need a corporate account. Second thing they said, you need an EPF, a federal ID, you know, that kind of thing. I have all that stuff for Miglash Marketing, but WDMA is a pretty small enterprise. We're just doing more and more and more, and we can go get it anytime we want. But Stripe let us integrate credit card with our website, with the WDMA website, without any of that stuff, and it goes into an account that we had. Whereas our bank was really a pain in the neck. Would not, they were federal regulations, and you have to come in, and it's $800 for us to do any of this stuff. And so I'm really curious to see what Stripe comes up with, and it may help us out personally. But for you merchants, yes, corporate banking is a joke, and it may allow you to connect your customers so that they can transfer funds between each other, pay in a very, very quick and easy way, don't need fax machines, etc., especially if you're B2B and you want to offer this stuff. Andreessen Horowitz says embedding finance for software as a service companies can increase revenue 2 to 5 times per customer, improve your margins, etc. You can even build your own lending services. Whoa. It won't be long, they say, until people will say, wait, don't you use Stripe? Well, we'll see. Okay, here's an interesting article that I really wanted to take a few minutes on. 5 ways marketers are preparing for third-party cookie depreciation. And I don't really know the best answer, so I thought I would cite this article by Loch Ross, or it could be Loch Ross, Chief Analysis Officer at Epsilon. Okay, and Epsilon did a study and said, how are you preparing, marketers? and 63% said they were building a customer data platform. Now, we've been doing those since, the first one we did was with More Business Products, a Canadian company that had a U.S. base. The second major one we did was Hudson Bay Company, which had 250 million transactions, about 15 million customers, and 2 different store chains that were not integrated in their database. We combined the 2, and we did it on one of the first 5 Pentiums that NCR produced in the world. And it was kind of a nightmare. We had 1 gig drives. I remember when a 1 gig drive was the biggest thing you could buy, and it was available for a PC before it was available for the ES9000 for the IBM mainframes. That was a big switch in the computer hardware business. And we were able to chomp through those 250 million transactions and build a customer transaction-based perspective. Well, of course, now anybody can do it. Well, it's not quite so simple as people think, and that was one of the points that was made in this article, is that everybody wants a single view of their customers, but oftentimes, the data formats are different, the addresses don't match, there might be multiple countries, there might be multiple servers that only connect with cookies. That's what happened with E-Trade. E-Trade had 4 servers, and they connected you so you could go to look at other services while you were online. But once you hung up from their main server, the connection with you disappeared. So we didn't know what you did even within their own architecture. And they wanted us to glue it all together. Oh, yes, right. We've had some adventures. Anyway, it's not so easy as you think. But if you'd like some help with that, again, we've only built about 100 of them, and for all different platforms. Probably more than 100. But anyway, happy to help. Would love to hear about your strategy. Okay, the second thing is going to first-party data, but few of us have enough data, online tracking data. The reason we went to third-party was so that we could watch what you did while you were traveling around, not on our site. That was the key to third-party. And the next best thing is probably going to be publishers. Publishers are going to, be able to track you. You can also maybe do the Facebook or Google and watch the tracking go on that. But all of them have their strengths and weaknesses, and I think that's what is the point of this article, and by Loch. And if you go on WDMA and subscribe, every day you can get the show notes with all the highlights. And I think that might be a better way to do this, to digest this. It says, building out a private ID, it's good intentions, but few brands are in a position to do it right. On our last major database with Hammacher Schlemmer, we were in the middle. We were doing an analytics platform in between Epsilon and Experian. A long story. Experian handled there, and then they went to PDX. So we were dancing among the giants, and I think Epsilon, worked pretty well. I think they did a pretty good job of customer identity. It's really complicated. It's a lot more complicated than people understand, and contextual strategies. If you're a little company, that may make sense. In other words, if you're selling fly fishing supplies, you might want to rent fly fishermen, or work with fly fishermen, or work with Orvis, or work with companies that work up deals in your industry. And I've done that for years, where companies that never rented their list would come to me and say, we would like to rent this other guy's list, and we'll let them use ours. And you can build little abacus-like structures. You can build those for yourself, for your industry. It's not that hard. It's, again, get in touch with somebody who's done it, and oftentimes it can work way better than those, because they're not very careful about customer categories, about purchase categories. They have their generic ones, which probably don't work for you, not work very well. And so getting some partnerships going in this regard is a really powerful way to accomplish similar things that are much more tailored to your particular needs. Okay? But work with the publishers. That's an excellent idea. Work with the publishers. There's always ways to work together. The publishers need help. They need revenue. There's a lot of things you can do. This was interesting. I don't really understand a data clean room, but I believe that this is similar to what we're talking about. And almost nobody's doing it. Not enough marketers are moving in this direction. Where you can share advertising information, web search, web browser, where are you going, what are you looking at kind of data within a safe environment that protects user privacy. Again, go to WDMA.org for the show notes. They'll be up in a couple hours. And every day, if you just subscribe, it's free, 100% free. Subscribe to WDMA.org, and you will get access to the show notes every day. And, I'm really excited about that. It's a really handy way for me to distribute this marked up information on some really great articles. So, prepare for third party. You're probably using them. It's funny, I did a cookie search on WDMA, and it turned out there are cookies coming off, third-party cookies on WDMA. I don't remember when I did them. I'm not using them. But this stuff's all over. It's probably inside your website, and you may not even realize it. You may not even know that the third-party cookies are spying on your people. So we'll do our best to turn all that stuff off, but luckily the browsers are turning it off for us. So Merry Christmas. Like and share. Your friends will know you're smart. Bye-bye.